You're being tricked. Your mind is keeping you stuck in mediocrity without you even realizing it. Every time that you sit down to do something important, your brain convinces you that you don't have to do it right now and you can do it later. You'll tell yourself that I have time tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it later. The truth is that your mind is not giving you reasons, it is giving you excuses. And the worst part is that you believe those excuses and you fall into the trap of waiting for the perfect moment or waiting for motivation to kick in. But the right moment never comes. You will never feel like to do the things that you're supposed to do. You will never feel like doing the hard things. Days, months, and years pass and you stay stuck in the same place, no progress or no change at all. It's not your fault, but if you don't learn to override this mental trap, you'll stay stuck in your life forever. That is why today we're going to talk about how you can force yourself to work even if you don't feel like it, and if you can master this, you will never struggle with procrastination and motivation ever again. So if that is something that you can relate to, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and let's get into the video. Your mind is keeping you stuck into mediocrity. Have you noticed that it is very hard to do the simple things that will make you successful in your life? For example, it is very hard to wake up early in the morning and work on that business, or it is very hard to study consistently every day and to ace your grades. The reason is that our mind is rewired for survival and not for success. Back in the days, it was very useful for our ancestors. The more that they could avoid unnecessary effort, the more they could conserve their energy to save food or to escape from wild animals. But the problem is that we don't live in the caves anymore. There are no wild animals to run from, or we don't need to conserve our energy, but we are still operating on the same old programming. That's why every time that you sit down to do something important, your brain tries to fight against it. It creates rational sounding excuses to avoid discomfort. You will tell yourself, I don't feel like it right now, but I can do it later. Or tell yourself, tomorrow I'll have more energy, I'll just do it tomorrow. These are not reasons, these are mental traps. Your brain wants to take the easiest, most effortless path, and usually that means doing nothing. But if you want to become successful, you have to do the things that you're supposed to do and you have to put in the work. But if you keep listening to your brain, you will never be able to take any action. You will keep waiting for the right moment and the right moment will never come. The way that you escape this is that you have to follow a plan or a system instead of following your brain's excuses. Majority of us, we spend most of our life controlled by our emotions, by our mood, and by our brain excuses. So for example, if you don't feel like to do something, most probably you won't do it. If you let your mood dictate your actions, you will never be able to take action and be consistent in your life because our moods are not reliable, they are not consistent. Some days we are motivated and some days we are not motivated. That is why that you have to follow a system or a plan that will get you to where you want to go. The solution is easy: follow your plan and not your mood. You have to shift your focus from following your mood to following your plan. Plan your day the night before and write down the things that you're supposed to do, and in the morning when you wake up, don't negotiate with yourself and just do the things that you're supposed to do. Treat your tasks like brushing your teeth. When you brush your teeth, you don't think about should I brush my teeth or not, you just do it. That is how you should treat your tasks. Complete it no matter what. Create a system, create a plan for yourself and follow it, and never consider your mood or brain's excuses. The good news is that if you disregard your feelings, your mood, and your brain's excuses at the moment and you just start, everything will become so much easier, because starting is the hardest part of doing anything. Once you start, the mental resistance will break, the flow will kick in, and you will keep going. Most people fail because they focus on the whole task instead of focusing on just getting started. So when you think about an entire essay or an entire project, it feels very overwhelming. That is why your brain will just resist it. Your brain sees the full task and immediately resists it because it feels too much. But once you start, something incredible happens. Momentum will kick in. You can utilize the 2-minute rule or the 5-minute rule. You will tell yourself that I'll study for only 5 minutes. I will work on this essay for only 2 minutes. So the thing is that you have to show up to your desk and you have to open your laptop and just start for 5 minutes. That is, I'm telling you, that is the hardest part, to convince yourself that you have to go and sit down and start, because that is where the most mental resistance exists, in starting. Because once you start, it becomes so much easier to just keep going because of momentum. Because when you think about the task, when you think about the whole task, your mind will resist it. But if you only focus on starting, your mind will not resist it that much. And that is how you break free from the mental resistance of doing the things that you're supposed to do. And also never focus on the outcome, only focus on the process and master your process. If you learn to master the process, your habits, that way you will always get to your destination. But if you obsess over outcomes, you will never get anywhere. For example, if you want to climb a mountain, so if you are at the bottom of the mountain and you're staring at the peak and you're thinking to yourself, should I climb or should I not climb, or what should I do, or is it going to be hard or easy, you will get discouraged even before starting, because it seems very huge, very far, and energy consuming. That is why the only thing that you have to focus on is on the first step. Once you take the first step, you will see that it is not that hard and it is something that you can do. So that is how you force yourself to work. You shift your focus from your mood and brain's excuses on taking the very first step. Once you take the very first step, I promise it is going to be so much easier. You will break free from your mental resistance and you will just keep going. Starting is the hardest part. Just show up and you will be good to go. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next videos.